What's up, y'all? Hey, Rob here. Got some prickly pear news for you. Some good, some not so good. But we're bottling something I've been working on for years. Prickly pear Amaro really soon. I've got a bunch of bitters coming out. Some that you'll recognize, some that are new, and I've totally outdone myself on these new ones. I'm making some bitters with botanical spirit bases, actually. So the spirit base already has botanical in it, kind of like how you would make absinthe. But anyway, yeah, some good news, bad news. And if you want to make some wine or vinegar or brandy with me, watch this and get in touch, and I'll tell you what's going on. But yeah, Prickly Pear Amaro, you're the first to know on this social platform. By the way, do you like my frozen melon? This is a melon from Arevalos farm, where I've gotten a lot of Mexican June corn throughout the years and distilled whiskey that you've had and whiskey that you're about to have. They're about to release more of that. Aaron and Joan grow a lot of things, not just corn. They grow this really wonderful canary melon too. The melon is delicious. I froze the shell, as you can see, and I added ice water and some hibiscus vinegar and some black lime powder and salt. It's pretty cool. So I'm coming to you, I'm talking to you from my backyard, which is absolutely insane in the summer, but I'm doing it for dramatic effect, and maybe it'll like encourage me to talk like 10 minutes instead of 20. So let's do that. But I'm making some vinegar. Like a lot of what I do is for people, right? Like for specific restaurants or bars, right? That's what I mean by that. I do some consulting, I do some custom work. I'm making some vinegar for someone right now from scratch, right? Not from scratch, from grapes, from whole grapes, right? I love making vinegar. If you know me and you know my efforts, I don't necessarily specifically care about spirits. Obviously I love them, and I think I make quite an effort to make really beautiful spirits, but you know what I mean. I think bread is more important than whiskey, right? I don't think I need to explain that very much, right? I think bread is much more beautiful. And if we're gonna consume brandy, whiskey, well, you deserve the best. And that's how I make things. Kind of Hero Dreams of Sushi style, obsessively philosophical about it. And that's why I talk about my farmers. That's why I work with the best farmers. And that's why I don't oak a lot of my spirits or wines, because the oak really gets in the way of the beautiful ingredient, right? And that's the whole premise of like California cuisine, for example, right? Select the best ingredients possible, not from a corporate stance. Oh, these are the finest ingredients possible, like Starbucks or Jack Daniels, or I mean Papa John's. They all say they use the finest ingredients, right? Well, what they really mean is like not moldy, right? Not, they don't mean anything by it, right? But I actually show you the farms. I show you the diversity of the farms, talk about the farmers, talk about the soil, what they're doing to the soil, what they don't do to the soil. These are the things that I live for. These are the things that keep me going, that keep me excited about life, because life is hard. This world is very weird and very cruel, right? Speaking of which, so I've made a lot of things from prickly pear throughout the years, right? A lot of things: bitters, vinegar, wine, now distillate as of this year. Not that I would ever participate in distilling prickly pear in someone's backyard. Years ago, they got me excited about that. I would never do that. But prickly pear spirit is gorgeous. All right, we're just gonna deal with the flies. I hope a lizard, we've got so many lizards in my backyard. I hope a lizard takes care of this fly for me. All right, so I love prickly pear so much. Like that color represents so much like nuance and just beautiful diversity that is really not really, is not really tangible. It's really beyond words what prickly pear is and the flavors that it offers, right? So that pink, neon pink thing in a prickly pear really represents so much to me that are beyond words. Like that color is a gorgeous flavor, and you don't get it from anywhere else, right? And that's what I think I did really right with my wine last year that I put out, that I called Chill Wine. I'm not some wine genius. I've done a lot of wine, in grape and fruit and grain and farming labor and grown a lot of plants myself. I love it. I'm not some wine genius. I just made some good decisions. I know what the best restaurants in Arizona want. It's the same thing I want. I want lower alcohol, refreshing, vibrant flavors that really make sense with desert cuisine, right? And so restaurants want that from local wineries. They just don't really get it. from local wineries, right? And so the simple thing I did is add desert microbes in the form of prickly pear that hasn't been cooked. It still had the microbes in it, okay, that actually got a voice in the wine. And then, of course, the prickly pear. And prickly pear has about a quarter of the amount of sugar, the bricks, about a quarter of the amount of sugar or alcohol as grapes. So if you start using prickly pear, even just in 10%, like in my chill wine, there's less than 10%. Got to drink this cold stuff outside. Less than 10% of that chill wine was prickly pear, right? Prickly pear is expensive, and it's kind of hard to get. A lot of what I've done prickly pear wise has been foraged. So here's the bad news. And the chill wine, it was not foraged fruit, actually. I found a really wonderful source south of Tucson. They have a giant ranch that they focus on harvesting prickly pear. And you go there and they have this giant machine that just like an old school machine that really quickly takes off the glochids, the spikes, and then leaves you with this perfect juice at the end. And actually it's got the solids. It's really more, it's not a puree. It's just mildly processed, but it's got to be so specific, right? Because prickly pear is such a specific fruit. So that is something that I can really rely on. Foraging prickly pear fruit is not reliable. And I know I've been going to a lot of different areas throughout the past 10 years to experience and try prickly pear that I've then made food and drink and vinegar and all these things with. I've done foraged prickly pear bitters, foraged prickly pear vinegar, stuff like that. Here's the bad news. This year, the prickly pear season absolutely, devastatingly sucks. It's non-existent. I know this from my own experience in multiple sites. Also, I hike a lot and I take note, and I'm really interested in taking note of weather and climate. Like, climate change is not just this thing of like, oh, we have too many cars. Yeah, sure. Which represents too many minds and too much exhaust, right? Too many outputs, right? And solar is not the answer, unfortunately, either. I think doing less and living communally and doing, beautiful community things, I think that's the answer, right? And growing plants is the answer. Solar is not the answer. They're destroying virgin, like pure wilderness in Texas to put solar panels. Like, come on, like the way we're doing it is horrendous. So love nature, love each other, love plants, love animals, because we're going to see it go in our lifetimes. That's it. That is what's going on, because we haven't stopped yet. So I'm going to keep doing what I can do. You're going to keep doing what you can do, obviously, because you're a nerd as well. You've been listening to me for 7-8 minutes. You're also a fucking nerd, so good for you. Do what we can. Enjoy what we can, okay? Embrace the pain, embrace the joy, embrace the beauty. That's what we can do. That's what drives me, right? Look it in the eye. Don't be afraid of it, and find joy regardless. That is my advice to myself and to you. Prickly pear this year. Here's why there's not a prickly pear season this year. And I've talked to a couple biologists and a couple other foragers, and just like I've seen it with my own eyes. There's not prickly pear fruit out there. Why? Well, you could say, obviously, yeah, the rains, blah, blah, blah. Yes, there weren't a lot of rains in the winter this year. But something even more than that. And this actually mirrors why, for example, Red Tree Ranch, that is where a lot of Timo of Cactus Crew and Alex King, who owns the property, Red Tree Ranch, organic vineyard in Pierce, Arizona, just south of Wilcox. Really awesome vineyard, by the way. I'm a team player. I don't just drink my spirits and wines. I respect and love and support other makers. And they are some of those makers. God damn this fly. They didn't get a lot of fruit last year. Why? Well, the winds came at the wrong time of year. With climate change, while we're taking down more trees, we've had more fires, right? We're still, if you drive around Tucson or Phoenix or wherever in the Southwest, or walk around, you'll see it's just in the culture. It's terrible, and I'm not pointing any fingers at any individual. I'm not, but it's just we're ripping out native plants. That's what we're doing. Even if we're buying a property, we're ripping out all the plants except the saguaro. I mean, it's insane. That shows our white supremacy right there. That shows like our supremacy in general there. We're like, oh, we'll keep the saguaros, but we're going to take every other plant around it. No, those saguaros, just like people can't live on bread alone, saguaro can't live on saguaros alone. If you look in a really healthy ecosystem without the invasive grasses that are suffocating the saguaros, you'll see other plants growing with saguaro. Okay, but we don't do that. We rip out all these plants and we leave the saguaro, and the saguaro is not going to live a long, healthy life. So what we're taking away from the desert and from, well, just anywhere, not just the desert, that is what is creating more winds and creating so much of climate change. So yeah, again, it's not just like we got cars and that's a problem. We got cars and we have habits. We have death cult habits. God damn this fly. I hope you're enjoying this. But anyway, so unfortunately the winds came at the wrong time for Red Tree Ranch last year, and their fruit couldn't set because the grape flowers actually were blown away by this hot wind. And that's really unfortunate, but that is something to really pay attention to. That is something to notice. This climate change thing is not simple. It's very nuanced, obviously, and you'll see it come about in every which way. And so, yes, of course, it's natural for things to change every year. Where the wind came at the wrong time this year, but there's too many of these things, and it's really hard for us to overcome them. And the wind coming at the wrong time will take away all your flowers. That'll eventually prevent you from having any fruit, right? So that's what happened with the prickly pear this year. Even those prickly pear that did get water, I think there's been 1/3 of an inch of rain in Tucson this year, for example. Got to keep drinking this hibiscus vinegar water. It's so good. Keeping me cool. You guys should eat a melon and freeze it. It's so good. Oh, it's so fun. Anyway, so there's no prickly pear this year, okay? And I'm not gonna forage. I like the javelinas too much, okay? I like all these, even though I hate this fly right now. I love bugs too much. I'm like, what's left? What's gonna fruit from the prickly pear? I'm gonna go ahead and let the animals, let the insects have it. I do have a good source for prickly pears, so I'll probably still get some. It just won't be from my own hands. We'll probably get some, and who knows what we'll do with it. We'll do something with it. But in the meantime, I'm releasing some interesting things. I'm making some vinegar with someone right now, and here is my offering to you. If you want to make wine or brandy or amaro or liqueur with me, this is an interesting moment for that. There is a vineyard I know and respect and really, really appreciate. And by the way, I'm saying this on like a longer video because this is only for people who really want to do something like this and have the attention span to do something that's deep and something that someone who wants to do something thorough, right? So that's what we're doing. There are grapes available that are very interesting, right? And so I'm gonna get some for vinegar. I'm gonna make it for a particular client. And if you want to make something with me, let me know. Because here's how it would go. We can make kind of whatever you want to make. The wine stuff I do in Arizona is not a company. It isn't like a profitable, company effort. The spirits and bitters I do, they make money, and I'm happy about that because I like what I do with money. I reinvest, I support really awesome farmers, and I'm growing a business, and I have been for quite some time. I keep reinvesting that, and eventually you're going to see a team form. There's really good development with the spirits and bitters that I'm doing. The wine actually is a labor of love for Arizona. If I told you what I do with the wine, I mean, come on, me and Rob of Sand Reckoner, we made this chill wine, put in a lot of labor of love, and then I delivered these cases myself, right? This is a non-financed, like if I showed you the numbers and what it all took, like of my labor and other people's labor, I mean, this is a labor of love. I gave to the scene, all right? Because I want to show something, I want to offer something, I want to do something different. And I think I did that, and I'm very excited about how Chill Wine went. And I knew what I was doing. I knew that I wasn't participating in something profitable. I knew that, and I'm gonna do that again with the wine. The spirits and the bitters, they have to make money. Let's just be real. I'm trying to support my farmers and support myself and build a team with the spirits and bitters, and I'm doing that. But the wine is an effort for my home state, right? Because I think it's a valuable effort, and I think it's needed. That's what I think. But if you want to make some brandy and learn how to make brandy, let's buy some grapes together. This would be a couple days of work for pressing, and then depending on what you want to make, it's either happening rather quickly, or like if it's brandy, or it's happening over a year period if we're making vinegar. But I'm very interested in doing things communally and doing things with a particular purpose in mind. Like if you're a restaurant and you want your own vinegar, this is a good chance. If you're an individual and you want to like buy some brandy futures, you can do that through the distillery I'm working out. Actually, we can work this out. So that's what's going on. I just got word. This has to happen rather soon. Okay. These grapes are available really in the next couple weeks. The chunks of cash involved, up to 5 people per $5,000 chunk. Okay, so it's $5,000 per chunk, and I'll explain to you what that means if you're serious. Okay, I'm busy. I work every day. I love what I do, mostly. I love the effort I make, at least. You know, I love the general thing I do. Of course, running a business is terrible, but doing the actual work is great, and working with the people I do is fantastic. I work with the best bars and restaurants in the country. So there's a lot of joy in what I do, but it is hard, and I've dedicated my whole life to it. So, and I really believe in it, and I've been doing this for years. I really fucking believe in it. I think doing beautiful things with our hands as humans is more important than ever, especially with encroaching technologies, AI, especially with the way the economy is, how workers get so abused, how migrants get so abused. We really got to, you know, like whatever we're doing within food and drink and farming, this is all very important work, I believe. And especially when you're doing something to accentuate, like I'm a small producer, I accentuate the small farmer, I accentuate and elevate, hopefully, the small, you know, restaurateurs and bartenders. That is my goal. That is what I live for. This is a community effort. So if you, if you want to, I mean, look, if you want to make some stuff together, let me know. It's $5,000 up to 5 people per chunk. You know what I mean? I can't be doing like 20 people. It's not going to work. There is a lot of work involved. I don't need your labor per se. If you want to do some labor with me, great. I will feed you. We're going to take a couple days to press, and then if we distill something, it's a couple days. Vinegar is less work, frankly, but it's more time. But there's a lot of things we can do, and that's what I want to do. I heard there's grapes available recently. They're really good grapes. Really, really fucking awesome grapes, actually, grown sustainably and interestingly here in Arizona. And also, if you want to do something wild and you want to make a few different types of vinegar with one batch, I mean, hibiscus vinegar, which I made that I'm drinking right here with water, is really dope. So we can do something non-alcoholic or alcoholic with these grapes. But in the next few weeks, that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm very happy and lucky to be doing that. So hit me up. Anyway, that's what's up. Talk soon.